Have you ever felt like you're running as fast as you can, yet life refuses to move forward? You wake up before sunrise. You work until your hands ache. And still, success feels just out of reach, like it's watching you struggle from a distance. This is not just a story. It's a mirror. In a quiet village nestled beside a slow-moving river lived a young man named Aaron. The village was famous for one thing: pottery. Clay wheels spun in almost every home, and the smell of wet earth and fire filled the air day and night. Aaron grew up watching his father, Eshan, shape clay as if it were alive. His hands were steady, his movements calm. People often said Eshan didn't make pots, he listened to them. But Aaron was different. At 22, Aaron was impatient with silence, waiting, and slowness. He believed effort meant speed. He believed success belonged to those who worked the fastest. "I'll make twice as many pots as anyone else," Aaron often said. "That's how I'll win." From dawn to dusk, his wheel spun non-stop. Clay flew. Pots lined the shelves. His hands moved faster than his thoughts. While others waited for the clay to rest, Aaron forced it into shape. Cracks appeared. Handles loosened. Colors burned unevenly in the kiln. But Aaron ignored the signs. One morning, as he rushed another batch into the fire, his father spoke softly. "Clay needs time, Aaron. If you rush it, it breaks." Aaron didn't look up. "People don't wait anymore, father. The market won't wait for me either." Eshan smiled, calm as ever. "Time hasn't changed, son. We have." That evening, 4 pots shattered inside the kiln. Aaron stared at the broken pieces, anger burning hotter than the fire itself. He worked harder, faster, longer. Then came the announcement. The Harvest Festival, the biggest event of the year. Craftsmen from nearby towns would gather. The winner would earn access to the grand trade market, where fortunes were made. Aaron's heart raced. "This is it," he whispered. "I'll finally be seen." His father said only one thing: "Make fewer, make better." But Aaron heard only his ambition. 4 days, he barely slept. He stacked wet pots too close together. He rushed drying. He overloaded the kiln. When morning came, the damage was worse than before. Some pots cracked. Others exploded. Villagers whispered. "Too fast," they said. "Too careless." Humiliated, Aaron avoided the market. He avoided eye contact. He avoided himself. One afternoon, he saw his father selling just 3 simple pots. People admired them, touching the smooth surface, tapping them gently. A woman asked, "How long did these take?" Eshan replied, "As long as they needed." Aaron felt something twist inside his chest. That night, surrounded by broken clay, Aaron finally stopped running. For the first time, he asked himself a question he had always avoided. What if speed was never the answer? That night, Aaron did not sleep. The workshop felt different, quieter, heavier. Broken pots lay scattered across the floor like reminders of every mistake he had tried to outrun. He picked one up and traced the crack with his thumb. It wasn't the fire that broke it. It wasn't bad clay either. It was him. For the first time, Aaron didn't rush to clean the mess. He sat there, surrounded by failure, and listened to the silence he had always avoided. The next morning, he did something strange. He made only 1 pot. No stacks. No rushing. No shortcuts. He kneaded the clay slowly, feeling its resistance. When it leaned too far, he stopped. When it trembled, he eased his grip. His hands moved carefully, almost nervously, as if afraid of breaking something fragile. Not just the clay, but his resolve. He placed the pot on the drying shelf and walked away. That was the hardest part. Every instinct screamed at him to touch it again, to hurry, to do more. But he didn't. He forced himself to wait. When he returned the next day, the clay had settled. He adjusted the rim slightly, then stepped back. Again, he waited. Villagers began to notice. Children passing by laughed. 1 pot. they teased. "At this speed, you'll miss the festival completely." Aaron smiled faintly. "Maybe," he said, "but this one won't break." Days turned into weeks. Aaron's hands slowed, but they became steadier. He learned to read the clay, when it needed air, when it needed rest, when it was ready for fire. He stopped fighting time and began working with it. His father watched quietly, never interrupting. One evening, Eshan placed a hand on Aaron's shoulder and said, "You're not controlling the clay anymore. You're respecting it." Aaron nodded. "I used to think patience was weakness," he replied. "Now I think it's discipline." By the end of the month, Aaron had only a few finished pots, far fewer than before. But they were different, smooth, balanced. When he tapped them, they rang with a clean, steady sound. Something inside him felt the same. The village was preparing again. Banners went up. Musicians practiced. The harvest festival was approaching fast. One evening, Eshan asked gently, "Will you take part this year?" Aaron looked at his small collection. "Yes," he said, "but only with what's ready." The night before the festival, Aaron checked each pot carefully. No cracks. No rushed edges. Each one carried the quiet hours he had given without complaint. Morning arrived bright and loud. Aaron loaded his cart with straw, patting each pot like something precious. He walked toward the village square slowly, ignoring the whispers that followed him. "That's the boy who failed last year. He used to rush everything. Let's see how long these last." Aaron didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He simply set up his table, right beside his father's. The contrast was clear. No flashy designs. No large numbers. Just calm, steady craftsmanship. People stopped. They touched the pots. They lifted them, surprised by their weight and balance. A merchant frowned thoughtfully. "These feel strong," he said. "How did you make them?" Aaron replied honestly, "By learning when not to hurry." Word spread. When the judges approached, Aaron felt his heartbeat slow instead of racing. Whatever happened, he knew one thing. These pots represented his best self. One judge ran his fingers along the rim and asked, "How long did these take?" Aaron met his eyes. "Longer than I wanted." The judge smiled. "That's usually the price of good work." As the sun began to set, the mayor stepped onto the stage. The crowd fell silent. Aaron stood still, hands resting at his sides, calm in a way he had never felt before. The village square was filled with sound, music, laughter, voices calling out prices. But inside Aaron, everything was quiet. He stood behind his table, watching people move past colorful fabrics, shining metalwork, and stacks of pottery piled high. Many craftsmen had brought dozens of pieces, hoping quantity would impress the judges. Aaron had brought only a few. As the judges walked through the square, murmurs followed them like shadows. Craftsmen straightened their backs. Smiles became forced. Hands trembled. When the judges stopped in front of Aaron's table, time seemed to slow. One of them lifted a pot carefully, turning it in the light. Another tapped it gently and listened to the sound. A third judge ran his fingers along the rim and nodded almost imperceptibly. "These are simple," one judge said. Aaron bowed his head slightly. "Yes," he replied. "But they are honest," the judge continued. Aaron felt his chest tighten, not with fear, but with relief. For the first time, he didn't feel the need to prove anything. The judges moved on. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Some nodded in approval. Others doubted. As the sun dipped lower, golden light spilled across the square. The mayor climbed onto the wooden stage and raised his hand for silence. "This year," he announced, "we honor not speed, not size, but skill shaped by patience." Aaron felt his breath catch. The award for craftsmanship goes to the one who understood that strength is built slowly. The mayor turned. "Aaron, son of Eshan." For a moment, Aaron didn't move. The crowd erupted in applause, but it sounded distant, like waves far away. His father stepped forward, placing a gentle hand on his back.
Go,
Eshan whispered. You listened. Aaron walked to the stage, his steps steady. The mayor placed a small silver coin in his palm, light in weight, heavy with meaning. That evening, as they walked home beneath lantern-lit skies, Aaron pushed his cart slowly. The pots inside did not rattle. They rested, firm and whole. I used to think patience was doing nothing, Aaron said quietly. Now I know it's choosing to do things right. His father smiled. But Aaron didn't know yet, this lesson would shape far more than his craft. The festival ended, the banners came down, and the village slowly returned to its usual rhythm. The music faded. The crowds disappeared. But something had changed inside Aaron. He no longer woke up thinking about winning or proving himself. He woke up thinking about the work. Every morning, he cleaned his tools carefully. He prepared the clay with patience, letting it rest before touching it. His wheel turned slowly now, steady and calm, matching his breath. There was no rush, only intention. People noticed. When pots cracked in other homes, villagers began bringing them to Aaron. He repaired each one quietly, never judging, never boasting. An old woman once smiled and said, "You've grown calm, my boy." Aaron replied, "I just stopped fighting time." Travelers passing through the village paused to watch him work. They said little, but their eyes followed his hands. The way they moved with care, the way he stopped when the clay asked him to. One afternoon, a child watching nearby asked, "Doesn't waiting make you bored?" Aaron smiled gently. "If I rush, I begin again. If I wait, I finish." Years passed. Aaron's workshop became known beyond the river and the fields. Not because it was loud or flashy, but because the pots lasted. They didn't crack in winter. They didn't weaken with use. Each one carried quiet strength. One evening, his father visited and looked around the workshop. Shelves were lined with finished pots, each smooth, balanced, and strong. "You've built more than pottery," Eshan said softly. "You've built peace." Aaron shook his head. "No, father. Patience built it for me." As the lanterns flickered outside, Aaron thought about who he used to be. The boy who chased speed, who believed faster meant better. He understood now that patience wasn't about standing still. It was about showing up. About working when no one was watching. About trusting that effort done quietly still matters. Maybe you're working hard right now, wondering why nothing seems to change. Maybe you feel left behind while others move ahead. Remember this. The strongest things grow in silence. What lasts the longest is rarely rushed. Aaron learned that patience doesn't shout, it waits. And when its time comes, it speaks through results.